Hey craft friends, welcome to my channel. Today is a fun autumn harvest video. Now let's get crafting.
This project is going to cost me about $2 to make because we're going to use some of these stacking blocks and some of these tongue depressor sticks, these large jumbo ones. I'm going to link the ones I found online down below in my description box. And we're going to start by just simply cutting off the rounded edge on one of the sticks and then repeating that on a whole bunch of other sticks depending on how long you want your pumpkin to become. Then at the end, when you like the length of it, you're going to cut angles on those two, and then the very last one, you're going to line the edges up on that last stick. You can see right here that it's the length of the shortest part of that angle, and then round the last of that stick so it has that rounded edge like a pumpkin. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and bring them all together because we're making a shiplap looking pumpkin. And I'm going to just use some hot glue and place little dots all around the sticks so that I can lay down the supportive stick. This is the back side of the pumpkin that we're building. Once I've got everything all nice and secure, I went ahead and flipped it over, and you can see now the front side looks nice and clean and it looks like shiplap. Now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and take some of the stacking blocks, and again I'm going to match up with the length of the pumpkin. Once I get it to how long I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and use my staple gun and staple at the joints to make sure that this is really sturdy and strong. You don't have to do the staples, but I personally don't always trust hot glue because I feel like it can fall apart. But I don't personally always trust hot glue because I feel like it can fall apart. So then once I had the hot glue on, I'm going to put the staple side down against the pumpkin. And this is going to allow it to hide those staples, look really clean, like it came from a store. And then on the back side, I'm going to put the other supportive bottom piece so that this pumpkin can now stand up. This is so easy to make, and like I said, only costs about $2 with the supplies because I had tons of sticks left over, and I'm not even using all of these stacking blocks. Then I went ahead and gave it a pretty peachy orange color, and then I'm going to come back in and curve rounded brush strokes to create the roundness of a pumpkin, and this gives that depth perception that you would see on a pumpkin by curving out your lines. Then down at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and paint that white so that it has some contrast from the orange that we've got on the pumpkin. And I did paint the backside to make sure that it has a nice finished look. And then up at the top, I'm going to take one of these branch pieces that you can get from the Dollar Tree. And I'm going to just put some hot glue, place that right where I want it to be, and then I'm going to staple it on with my staple gun. Because again, I just feel like with hot glue, it can definitely still fall off. So now that I know that I got it on there nice and secure, I'm going to flip it around on the back side and give it a supportive hot glue ledge for it to be sitting on and holding and gripping onto the back side of the pumpkin so it doesn't fall off over time. Now at this point, I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to sketch on the word blessed. You can sketch on whatever you want. It could be your family's name, it could say thankful, it can say harvest, autumn, whatever you want it to say. This is the fun part about customizing this. I also forgot to mention that I did do a little bit of white dry brushing on the sides of the pumpkin to add a little more curvage and depth. Now at this point, I'm coming in with my thin brush head tip on my paintbrush, and I'm going to just take my time and create the thicker lines where I'm coming down and thinner lines where I'm coming back up. And this part is always so therapeutic for me. I just love hand painting. You could use your vinyl cutting machine if you have one, but remember, don't ever be afraid to use your hands and just practice with hand painting. Then once you've got that all painted on, I went ahead and added a bow up at the top because I thought that would be really cute. And then I'm going to add some Spanish moss down at the bottom to give it that farmhouse rustic look. and then it's ready to be displayed. At the 23-minute marker of this video, there is going to be a small Dollar Tree haul video. So make sure if you're interested in Dollar Tree hauls to stick to the very end of this video to see all the new things that I found at my local stores. For this project, we're going to be using a large 14-inch wired wreath form, this bag of apples that I picked up from Amazon, some fabric, this burlap ribbon, and then a whole bunch of green florals from the DT. Now I'm going to take that ribbon and I'm going to just coil it around that wreath form because this is going to allow me an easier way to be able to put on all of these picks that I'm taking apart to glue it onto something to have a nice sturdy base. You don't have to do this, but this is just another technique I thought that I would try and share with all of you, and I actually really liked it a lot. So I went ahead and just tucked underneath all of these wispy, which is always the first one I like to put down. I like to put down the most flowy, wispy looking greenery pick first because it really makes it look more natural to have those out at the very back of the wreath. And then I keep building out from there, going into the smallest things. So now I'm putting on, I think it was called Fall Grass. I think that's what this pick is called. I loved it because the majority of it is green and it goes into yellow at the very end. It's not an actual flower head that you could just like pop off. It's one big greenery pick. I loved it. So I wanted to make sure I got that on here too. And then now I'm going to come in with these berries, and I used the leaves as well because I always like to try to use all of the pick. And I put down the leaves and I glued them onto the ribbon to conceal the ribbon a little bit more. And now I'm coming in with the berries and I'm just tucking those and laying them as flat as I can, because these are a little bit tricky to work with sometimes. So just lay them down as flat as you can. And now I'm going to come in with another green pick. This one definitely has a more fall look to it. And I just love the colors contrast with the yellow and then the really bright, not fall green leaves. So now I'm going to take my apples. And at this point, I love how much we've built up all the greenery that it's ready for the apples. I'm going to go ahead and take a skewer stick and poke that into the apple because these have a sleek surface and over time they're just going to pop right off. So I went ahead and put a skewer stick in it and hot glued those all together, and then I'm going to add more hot glue to the stick and then put it into the wreath. This is going to allow it to really bond and adhere to all of the stuff on the wreath and the ribbon so that these apples don't pop off and fall. And then the very last thing, I decided to do a black and white gingham bow, and I think this turned out so beautiful for the fall. I cannot wait to hang it up. This sign is going to be so cost friendly to recreate. We're going to just take one of these long signs from the Dollar Tree and we're going to pop off this fun little arch part that says Happy Holidays. I will keep that for another project later on down the road, but I only want to get to the base of this sign. I'm also going to pop off the ribbons and the staple, and then once I'm done getting all that off, I'm going to go ahead and take some of my putty and I'm going to fill in those holes from the staples. When they punch into these boards, it can cause a little bit of a divot. So I'm going to go ahead and just fill that in and sand it so it's nice and smooth on the same surface, because we are going to be painting this whole thing black. Now you could paint it whatever color you want, but I went with black because I really love black during the fall season. I just think it looks so pretty with all of the fall colors. I don't know, it gives it more of a rich, deep tone. I don't know how to explain it, but it's just what I like. So you can paint any color you want, but after I got it all dry, I went ahead and used my ruler and I sketched on the words "The Simple Life." Now I really wanted this sign because I feel like after last year we have all been rushing and going so fast, trying to make up for all that lost time visiting with family and just getting out there and enjoying life again and getting back into habits and routines of, you know, classes that our kids are taking or just whatever, traveling. And after a while, friends, we start to just wear ourselves out, and sometimes it's okay to just have a simple day. And so I just wanted to remind myself and my family that we don't have to run every second. It's okay to slow down. I think the Sabbath day is always my favorite day of the whole week because I just love that time to slow down and to just really focus on the things that calm my spirit. Once it was all dried, I sanded the corners, and then on the back side I flipped it over and took some of that burlap fabric, and then took some of that gingham fabric and covered the back so it has a nice clean finish. And then I took another strip and tied it onto the side of the sign. I'm going to tie it with 2 knots or 2 ties to make a knot, and then I'm going to do a dovetail cut on the ends and tuck in some of this wheat. I just think that this is so cute and how it turned out. Tucking these in here on the side, it really gives it that fall country look. And then I'm going to take this little pumpkin, I'm going to tuck this in here with lots of hot glue so it really stays on there. This has more of a foam feeling, so it adhered really well. I didn't need to stick a skewer stick in it or anything. And then the last is adding on this bow, and it's ready to be displayed as a good reminder in my home. For this DIY, we're going to be using a pumpkin wood piece, this wood round, this cute little witch's hat, and then this long wooden stick, all from the Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to start by patching all of the holes to make sure that those are nice and patched, and then I'm going to take my drill. Now my drill is not that wide enough for this stick, this craft stick, so I'm kind of going around in a circle to carve out a little bit of a bigger hole. And then now it will fit in there nicely, and I'm going to just simply add in some hot glue and stick that right down in there. And then I'm going to hold it in place while it dries enough to keep it being straight. Once that was done, you can see it over there to the bottom right corner. I put it to the side because now I'm going to paint my pumpkin a really pretty rustic orange color. And I'm going to create a little box with these popsicle sticks in the back that's going to allow the pumpkin to sit on the sign and not have it fall off, because again, I just don't always trust hot glue. I wanted to give it a little casing around it to be able to really hold on to that stick. Once I had the 2 sides and the little top piece and then the back, it was ready for me to be able to glue it onto the stand. Now at this point, I really wanted to put this darling little hat on my pumpkin, because while I don't do the creepy sides of Halloween, I do like the fun, cute, and whimsical side of it with the cute little pumpkins and little witches' hats and cats, things like that. I like the more mellow part of Halloween, not the creepy stuff. So now I'm going to take a small piece of fabric and I'm going to wrap that around the hat of this little pumpkin. I just thought this would be such a cute little simple detail. I'm not going to put a face on my pumpkin. You totally could do that if you wanted to, but I just wanted it to just be just a pumpkin with a cute little hat on it. And I'm going to just kind of scrunch up the fabric to make it have a very textured look to it. And now I'm going to glue on this little white star because I thought that would just be so cute up on the hat. I love how it's turning out so far. And then I'm going to paint the whole base white, and as well as that little casing on the back of the pumpkin to give it a nice clean store finish look. And then I'm going to take some more of the fabric. I'm going to get a small strip of it and I'm going to wrap that around the base of the wood round. And then the last real thing I'm going to do is just add on some of this moss to really finish off the look at the bottom. And once I've got that all under control, because this stuff makes a mess when you get it out, but I love it for the fall, I'm going to add on a very loopy twine bow right underneath the pumpkin, and it's ready to be displayed for the fall. For this project, we're going to take one of these pumpkins, one of these leaves, and then one of these acorns, as well as this sign and a bag of sunflower picks. Friends, this project is so easy to make and it turns out so cute. So I'm going to start by painting the acorn a tan color down at the bottom. And then the top part, I cut off the little stem of it, and I'm going to give that little top cap of it a nice pretty brown color. And how I'm getting this ombre effect is I'm just adding the brown paint onto the tan that I was just using on the bottom part of it. And then up at the very top, I'm going to take two of these thick tongue depressor sticks, and I'm going to cut off the rounded edges, and we're going to put those right where those two lines meet up. And I'm just using a nice coat of brown paint on them because this is going to look like a scarecrow's brimmed hat. Now I wanted it to look like a scarecrow's. I thought this shape is so perfect. I'm going to take some of this hula grass skirt that I had left over in my craft room, and I'm going to just take off a few of those long pieces. It's really raffia, but I love buying these grass skirts because they work so great for these types of projects and they go a really long way. So I'm just putting a little bit underneath the hat brim, and now I'm going to start doing the face of my scarecrow. So I'm going to dry brush on some pink, and once I got it on both of the cheeks and I liked how it looked, I then am going to move on to its nose. Now the nose is just a simple rounded edged triangle, and so I'm using a rusty orange, a burnt orange. I hear it called so many different things, but we're going to go with a burnt orange, and I'm just going to round the edges of that nose. And then for the eyes, I'm going to take the back of my brush and I'm going to make two large dots for the eyes. Now at this point I can put on the mouth. I'm going to use this jumbo black permanent marker from the Dollar Tree that I love. Whenever I see these, I grab a whole bunch of them. And now I'm going to just put some hot glue on it and then staple it on where the hat and the brim meet up. And I'm going to conceal that later with some cute things so you don't even see the staples. Now I'm going to take that original sign from the Dollar Tree and I'm going to take it apart. First I'm going to put down at the bottom the scarecrow, then the word home. Now I'm going to work on the leaf. So this part I thought would be really beautiful to do this almost burgundy, but it's more like a cranberry red. I'm going to go with cranberry red. And I'm going to just paint one nice coat of that on because I want to see that wood grain still coming through. Add some hot glue and then staple that on again to secure it into place. And I'm just using a long garden stake. I had this on hand. It was in my garage, so I thought this will be perfect for it. And now I'm going to add on sweet, the next part of that sign from the Dollar Tree. And you can just see I'm just working my way up. Now I'm going to do the pumpkin. I did not want to do the pumpkin's face because I'm going for more of a fall look, not Halloween look on this. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a burnt orange, a very dark, pretty orange. And then I'm going to come back in with a more of a pumpkin orange. And I'm going to create some of these rounded edge lines because this really helps it curve and make it look more round. And then I'm going to just glue it into place, staple it down, and then I can add on the last sign up at the very top, which says home. So now we've got home sweet home, and we've got a pumpkin, a leaf, and a scarecrow. And then up at the very top, I felt like it needed something still. So I'm going to add on some tails first of the ribbon, and then I created the bow and just wrapped a piece of that ribbon around the middle to make the bow itself. This is going to really allow it to adhere to the wood and not pop off. And then at this point, this is the fun part. You can start embellishing it however you want. I put on some of these sunflowers, some of these burlap leaves from the Dollar Tree, and I really just had fun with it. At the very back, once I was all done embellishing it, I put on some twine with hot glue and a staple. For this project, there is a fall freebie. I had so much fun designing this for all of you. It's linked down below in my description box, which will take you to my website where you can grab it for free and download it for your very own use. Now, I wanted to give a unique look to this. I thought it would be so fun to make one of those sidewalk signs like you would see at a pumpkin patch when they're telling you how much things cost when you're first walking in. So I'm going to take 2 of these art flat board canvases, and I'm going to just simply take some of this gingham fabric and I'm going to wrap it around, tuck in the corners, and just pull it really tight so it's nice and smooth on the front sides of these boards. This project is so easy with this printable, and it's just such a fun thing to try. And you could do this for some fall decor. And the idea itself, I mean, how cute would this be to do for a wedding reception, welcoming people in for a birthday party? The idea of making one of these boards is so easy. So you can get whatever you want and wrap the boards with whatever you want fabric, and then put your sign on. And I'm going to use some of these popsicle sticks just to frame out the artwork. And then on the back side, this is how you get it to stand up. You're going to take some ribbon. I think this ribbon is about 3 inches long. And I'm going to just fold it in half and find the center point and glue it. Bring it over to the other side and make sure that everything's lining up nice and straight. And then close it so that the fabric sides are facing out. And then I'm going to put on the ribbons on the side. This is going to allow it to catch and hold up without it sliding flat on the ground. And then I'm just going to add some buttons because why not? I love buttons. I think buttons are so cute. And then I'm going to add some on the front. I'm going to get asked about this tray, this Lazy Susan tray for my jars. I picked it up from Target Dollar Spot, and I also got the jars there too, and it fits perfect for all my buttons. And then I'm going to just add on that last button, and it's ready to be displayed for the fall. I hope you have felt inspired from these projects. Now we're going to move on to a small Dollar Tree haul. I wanted to show you some of the newest things that are at my local Dollar Tree. As promised in a couple of videos back, I'm going to do this from time to time to show all the fun things we have going on at my local stores. Now right now, they have come out with these calendars again. I know there's been a couple of friends sharing them, but just in case some of you have missed it, Dollar Tree just put these out about a week ago for all of our stores. Run and get them because they go out so fast. In fact, when I was picking up mine, this lady that was helping me check out, this cashier, was saying, these are going so fast, and last year people were so upset when they couldn't find them. I'm so glad the Dollar Tree came out with more. I was too, and this time they came out with even more options. They have one with a truck, they have one with a farmer's market, they have a inspirational floral one. You're going to see all these different ones. I think the truck one might be my favorite. I just think that it is such a beautiful calendar with beautiful artwork that can be turned into so many cute things. Here is the floral one with all the inspirational quotes. I just think this could be turned into so many neat projects. I've got some big plans for that one. And then here is this other one. It's very farmhouse looking. They did a great job with all of these calendars. So run and get them before they're all gone. They have about 5 different calendars that are very farmhouse based. I also wanted to share that all of the school supplies are out. This is such a great thing to have if you have kids in school. So cost efficient. I loved this tray. I thought this was so good to work with beads or anything that might roll when you're crafting. They have out a bunch of Halloween picks. This is not really my jam, but I thought I would share it. It was really hard to film this because of the glitter. It kept wanting to make everything go super bright on my screen. If you're really into the creepy side of Halloween, they just put those picks out. This is more my jam. I like more of the fall and cute whimsical side of Halloween and fall and autumn. So they have all kinds of new beautiful florals and picks out new this year that they didn't have last year. I also really liked these. I never saw these last year, so I feel like these might be new. I saw a smaller version, but not this big, and they've got them in different colors, and they're clips that you can clip onto things. I thought those were really pretty. And then here are some of the new florals that they have. So many pretty things this year to be able to work with in your craft rooms. I love these ones probably the most. This was one of the newer ones that they came out with. I thought these florals were so beautiful. And these they've had around for a while, but I love that they had all the colors here so you could just see their options. Now this is a jumbo marker. This is one of the ones that I used in this video. I used the black one. I love these markers. They're only $1 and they are great. They last for so long. I wanted to show this as well for all my school friends going back. I love these tabs. They're great for organizing. And I'm going to pick one of these up because I actually need this for staple removing in my office. They also had a couple new frame options. I've never seen this one where it looks like a rusted metal. I thought that was really cool. I thought you could do a lot of fun projects with that. And then I know some of these have been shown, but when they first came out, they were completely sold out so fast. And I've noticed that all of the Dollar Trees have been bringing these back more now. And also, while these were next to it, I thought, how cute are these to show? Then I also came across this new banner. I thought this was really cute, and we've got 2 birthdays this month. So I saw these in the birthday section. I thought I would just show these real quick. They also have these confetti poppers, and they look so cool. We're going to definitely try it. And then the last thing was I noticed that they had this new food box for anybody who wants to meal prep their food.
Alright friends, that's it for today. I hope you felt inspired by these new autumn harvest projects. Leave a comment down below to let me know which one you liked, which one you think you'll try. And I'm going to recommend a couple of videos right here at the end so that you can check those out if you enjoyed this video and its theme. Thanks so much for stopping by, and until the next episode, bye friends!